Okay, I will start with the demo. So there will be an introduction of the company and so on by Seth. Okay, my name is Giancarlo Fanelli. I'm the Vice President of Research and Development in Domotz. And we set up this kind of short demo, short webinar to introduce new dealer to the Domotz product. Okay, let me check just one thing. Okay. The idea of this short demo is to introduce you to what Domotz Pro is and how you can leverage the Domotz service both in terms of monitoring as a monitoring tool and a remote network management tool. All the attendees should have received already a Domotz box, if I understood correctly. And starting from that one, you will be able to try out the Domotz service. Basically, the Domotz box you received is just an appliance which is ready to be used. It's just a plug and play tool which can be used to configure a Domotz agent. So let me introduce you very quickly how Domotz works. There is a Domotz agent basically running on the box, on the appliance you received, which scans locally the network and provides a service to the cloud with all the information collected locally. And then from the cloud, you get all the data down to the mobile app or...
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Seth. Hi Seth, finally. We got you.
Hello, Seth here.
Yeah, hi Seth. Go ahead, we can hear you. Seth?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Yes, Seth, we can hear you.
Hello. You can hear me. Great. Sorry. Hey everybody. Thanks for joining us today. So sorry for the technical difficulties, but you can leave it to the sales guy to be the one who creates this sort of issue. So thank you for coming. Listen, we really appreciate you giving Domotz an opportunity to be a solution for taking care of your customers and of course giving you tools to make your experience in engagement much more efficient and cost effective for running your business. So we wanted to give you an overview. We realize that there are a lot of things that you can figure out on your own. However, it might be nice to get a bit of a tour from our guys in development and support and our engineering folks. And also occasionally having the point of view of somebody like me who engages with a lot of integrators in terms of value propositions. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time spent on things that I believe you may have already had an opportunity to learn about, such as the origin story behind Domotz and our engagement with Fing. But suffice it to say that the marriage of the two has created an incredibly powerful resource for our dealers, our end users, our growing pool of integration professionals. So without further ado, I'm going to allow Giancarlo to lead an overview of the dashboard and then dig a little bit deeper into how setup will lead to a much more efficient use of the interface. So please go ahead, Giancarlo.
Okay, thank you very much, Seth. So let's start back from the beginning. As Seth introduced, and I was assuming you might have already got a Domotz box, which basically as soon as you plug to the network and as soon as you plug to the power, it provision itself with the latest version of the agents, which needs to be run locally in your network, the network that you want to monitor. So the first thing you need to do to start with the Domotz, let's say, testing phase, trialing phase, or something that you will do also, hopefully, on all your sites, on your jobs, is to plug the box to the network and to the power plug. Leave it on a stable network for 5 to 10 minutes, so it will be provisioned with the latest version of the Domotz agent on it. And after you have done that one, you can use the Domotz app to configure it. So what you need to do, you probably have already an account on Domotz portal, which is this one, from where you can have the link to the app for your Android phone or iOS phone to use it as a configurator of the Domotz box. So once you have the Domotz box plugged in, you wait for 5 minutes, you run the app on your mobile phone, you log into the app, and you will have a session like Find New Agents on the menu bar of your app. Once you run the Find New Agent, the app will scan the local network, so you need to be connected to the same network as the Domotz box, and it will locate your Domotz box unconfigured on your local network. Once you have done that, you will get a link to a page to configure the Domotz box, something like this. So a page either on the mobile phone, or you can directly connect to the Domotz box on port 3000. So if you know the IP address of the Domotz box, you can go on port 3000 of the Domotz box, and you get a page like this, where you can log in with your credentials. So let's say this is my credential, and you will be asked to name the Domotz agent that you want to configure. Give it a location. Actually, it will pick up a location from the IP address, and you can specify if it's a home or office network. This is just, for example, if it's the first box for you, you just name it test, locally Domotz, and so on. You click on configure, and it will start scanning the network. Okay, this is really the initial step you need to do. And once you have done that, you will be prompted by the same agent, let's say like this. You will be prompted to the portal and to the web app, which is basically what you will use on a day-by-day activity. This is the ones that you see here. It's the entry point of your Domotz app or web app in this case. It's a dashboard, what we call dashboard map, where you can locate all your agents configured in your area, basically, and the status of each agent and the status of the important devices in each of those agents. When I mentioned about the important devices, I mentioned already a concept that I want to introduce to you. What the Domotz agent does is a scan local network, identify all the devices on that local network, and send that list to the cloud. And you get the list from the web app. But not all the devices on a specific network are important for you, which means that some devices, like for example, mobile phones, tablets, laptop, and so on, you don't really care if they are online or offline. So you will be allowed to mark the devices which are important for you, which means that those devices should be always connected to the network. However, the Domotz application, the Domotz agent, is already able to identify some devices as to be important automatically. For example, network devices or control system as important devices. So as soon as you start the new agent, you will find some of the important devices already marked as such. Okay. So in this dashboard, you have it highlights you possible issues on a specific agent, or complete issues on other agents. For example, in this case, San Francisco office demo is an agent which appears to be offline, so it's not connected to the internet. There might be an issue on the ISP or something else. Or something that might happen more often is that some of the devices which are marked as important appear to offline. If we click on the offline number, you will jump directly to the list of those devices which have been spotted as important and to be offline in that specific case. For example, in the London office demo platform, I have a couple of devices which should be always running, but they are not. In here, we jumped into the device list tab, or device list, page. And in this particular case, we jump into the ones that are offline. However, this is not all what we have. It's what we got from each device is also a more detailed list of information from that device in itself. So some information we got automatically, some information you can configure by yourself. For example, the location of the device, the zone of the devices, if you want to mark them as any favorites, and so you will recap those devices better, faster, and so on. But in this case, we saw that this Luxol switch appears to be offline. What we can do in this case, in this specific case, for the Luxol one, we can share the access to this agent directly with the Luxol support. This is something particularly new for us and probably for you as well, which will give access to the support from Luxol to your agent and and to the devices that they might fix from remote and so on. Okay. However, you can even try to connect directly to some of your devices. For example, okay, in this case, I have on this site, I have the entire list of all the devices which have been discovered. I marked some as favorites, so I can switch to them directly. Oops, none of them. Sorry, let me search for one of the devices we're looking. So, spool. I want to show you how you can leverage Domotz to remotely manage some of the devices on the network. In this case, I want to show you the remote connection on a IP camera. So I have an IP camera which is supposed to work constantly on the network, but you might want to change some of the configuration from remote. So what we have done here, we have allowed a remote connection to end devices through a secure channel, which shows you directly the end device web service. So in this case, it's camera. You can go to the configuration and so on. But also, you can use the same approach to remotely connect to her and use it like something like a TeamViewer or Logmein device and so on. So you will be connected directly to the Windows domain controller. So it's creating a secure channel. So if you see here, it's a secure channel. And you will jump into a login access as well as we did for the web service. So in this case, connecting to the Domotz service, and you see the login screen from Windows domain controller. Okay. With regards to the monitoring part, of course, you not only have the map that we saw before here, okay, but you can have also access to some specific alerts for the devices. So, for example, you can set one of the devices which is important for you. You can set up a rule, which means that you want to have that specific device. Sorry, there is something that I need to open again. network is, I apologize, but the network is quite slow at the moment. I'm sorry for this. Here. You might set up one device to be to send you an alert as soon as it has been spotted as offline. So you can set up alerts on emails. You can set up alerts on mobile if the device goes up or if the device goes down, and so on. So as soon as the device goes offline or online, you get the notification, and you get also the information listed in the history of the device itself. Another thing I want to show you on the device list is the possibility to map devices on specific PDUs. So if you have a PDU that you can control through IP, for example, SnapID, Worldbox, or Digital Logger, or Middle Atlantic, and so on, all those PDUs can be remotely controlled by Domotz itself through the way, in the same way you do when you are on site to your customer. So let me search for PDUs, spark plug, and I want to control one. Okay. You can control one single port, or you can control multiple ports on a Panamax EPS as well. For example, you can control a multiple port one. But more importantly, you can associate a specific device to a specific port of that device. By doing that, you will be allowed to jump directly to the port of the PDU without knowing the PDU itself. For example, I know that I did, during the configuration phase, I did configure the PC rack room on top of a specific PDU outlet, so that I can control the power on that specific outlet directly from the PC rack room without remembering where it was connected to. And even more powerful is the possibility to map devices which are connected to switches, and without knowing, without manually and logically associate devices to the switches, the tool, the Domotz agent, is able to automatically map each device to the specific port of the switch. For example, in this case, the switch rack audio video informs me that there is an access point on port 01 and a link box on port 02, and so on. And this is automatically done by the tool without any configuration. We have a long list of switches currently supported, which is growing week by week. The thing is that if you change the device from port 1 to port 2 and so on, the tool will automatically recognize where the device is connected. And through the means of PoE, you can also switch on and switch off, so basically reboot the device itself. And you can do it directly from the device itself. So this is an access point, and you can remotely switch the power over the PoE directly from the device itself. This is something quite unique and probably rare tool as this kind of feature. This basically covers most of the functionality that you can do through the device list, but there are other functionality which you can discover quite easily. I mean, the tool is very easy to set up. It's very easy to use. It was designed to be used by a mobile user, so the experience should be quite easy. Another type I want to cover, it's the network monitoring. So through the network monitoring tool, you can look at the speed test executed on that network, so toward the ISP provider, And this is automatically done every 6 hours. So the agent every 6 hours performs speed tests on the one, and you get the results in terms of download bandwidth, upload bandwidth. It also allows you to perform some more in-depth analysis on the on some routes, and gives you a breakdown of the packets that are sent to a target, and the breakdown between the Domotz agent and router, the Domotz agent and the ISP provider, and so on. So if you have an issue in the house, in the home of your customer, you can identify if it's an ISP issue or if it's a local issue or a WAN issue. Also, for the agent itself, you get a history of when the agent gets disconnected from the network, and at the same way, you can set an alert on the disconnection of the agent itself. It means that you will be notified by email or by push notification on your mobile phone if the agent got lose connection on the internet. So this introduced me to the next tile, which is Alert Manager, which gives you the way of setting alerts both for the network. So you can disable totally the alert management on the entire agent. You can get notification, push or email, and so on. You can get notification if a new device connects to the network, and so on. And the same for the devices. You can review the configuration of the alerts for every single device. You can sort, you can filter only for the important ones, and so on. Next tab I want to cover is the collaboration. As I mentioned before, you can invite Luxul support, for example, to collaborate on your agent, which means that they have access to your agent itself. But you can also share the access to your site or to your agent through the collaboration tile. So you can invite another Domotz user to access to your agent, and it will basically act as you on that agent. So, for example, you can invite one of your colleagues or one of your friends who are experts in a subject to fix a specific issue. Next two tiles I want to cover quite fast are the two tiles with external system. One is the tile which covers all the ZigBee devices which are configured over Control 4 controllers. So we have some specific, the entire list of the details of the ZigBee devices configured on Control 4. So, for example, signal level, battery level, and so on. And the other tile, which gives you enough information or all the information about the CrestNet devices configured on CrestNet line. The next tile I want to cover, it's customer management. Under customer management, you can set up specific location of the agent. So you can configure an address through the. You can search for an address. For example, in this case, it's Ladbroke Grove, United Kingdom. I can set up a different street and so on. But more importantly, you can set up the details of the homeowner. This is the email of the homeowner that you can set up, name and mobile phone and so on. And through the mean of the client app, you will be allowed to set up the Violet, which is our Domotz customer-facing app, which means that the user that the email that you set here will receive an email and an invitation to use Violet, which is our customer-facing app. Basically, an app it's an app designed for the customer and users. So your end users, they will be allowed to see devices on his own network, but only the devices that you want to show to them. And they can also reboot things if you allow them to power control the devices. Just a quick view on Violet, and then we come back here. So this is basically Violet. As soon as the user gets the link, he will be allowed to log in here. he will be allowed to log in here, and he basically has a different view on the same devices that you have configured in Domotz Pro. He can configure devices as to be part of the family, or if they are part guests that only randomly appear on my network, and other devices which are basically the ones that are home tech devices, so audio, video, matrix, controllers, and so on. They will be also allowed to configure unknown devices, so as soon as a new device entering their network, they will be notified, and so on. And the final thing I want to show you is that through the mean of Violet, the end user can block the access to the network for that device. So through the mean of this application, basically your end customers can use Domotz as a way of parental control in a way, or security feature in another way. So if they see an unknown device is connected to their own network, they can decide to block. Or if they want to block the access to the internet to their own children, they can do it through the Violet customer-facing app. Going back to Domotz Pro, so this is just very quick introduction to Violet. Going back to Domotz Pro, another couple of style I want to cover is the reports and logging. Reports logging all the activities that you have performed on that specific agent in terms of remote connection to devices. And this can be used, for example, to show your end customer what activity you have done recently, and so on, or to monitor activity of your colleagues, and so on. Plus, through the same tile, you can ask to receive a report of the last month of activities, or a report on the snapshot of all the devices that you get from the on that agent. I want to show you this kind of reports very quickly. Just a second. I'm switching to the other view. I can't switch it now. Okay, I will show you later. I will show you later how the report look like. Going back to the tiles and to the main dashboard, manufacturer support is the one that I was showing you through the device. You can invite Laxol at the moment to support you on that specific agent. We will soon add a lot of other manufacturers. So we have very direct interest from many manufacturers we just met at the IACE. So this covers basically some of the functionality on the app and on the web app. Of course, there are other more functionality, hidden things. So the collaboration request comes here. You can have you can sort the agents by creation date. You can only filter the ones that are, for example, marketed as demo, and so far, I mean, whatever you want, it's probably already there. However, this does not cover the entire thing of configuration, because what comes to you as a dealer is also an account which allows you to configure your own team to manage agents, to manage sites, and so on. So you have an access to a portal where you can see all the agents that have been configured with your name, with your within your team. You can configure a new team member, which allows him to create, to access to all the agents in your team, or you can create a field operator, and for that field operator, Gmail, you will be allowed to delegate him only to manage some specific agents, and so on. Okay. through the same portal. The same portal is also used as an access point to subscribe to configure more agents. For example, you can rename agents here, or to monitor the expiration date of every agent. As you might know, the cost of each agent is very, very cheap. It's $2.99 per month. So as soon as you log into the portal, you see the credits that you have available to install agents. You can buy more credits through the same mean of the portal. So you continue here and you get some access to how to buy credits directly from here. But you can allocate credits on top of existing agents. So you can add more months to a specific agent and so on. So you will extend the expiration of that agent as well. But you can also redeem the agent itself. For example, if I wanted to redeem the expiration of this one, I will get some the 11 months that are missing from here to the expiration date, and I will get those lists directly in my bucket of credits. You can also buy the Domotz box or the Domotz Pi directly from the portal. You get already the discount. The retail price, as you know, is $150. You get for $105. You can configure your account with your full name and details about the VAT and so on. It gives you access also to other download page, where you can see that the Domotz agent is also available on other platforms. So the Domotz agent is open source and can be installed on your own Raspberry Pi, on your own Synology, on your own QNAP or your own Netgear NES. But what we usually suggest is to use the Domotz box that is available with Domotz for a couple of reasons. The first one is that it's just plug and play. You can configure it in a few minutes. And the second one, it's very powerful to host Domotz. It's a dedicated hardware for Domotz agent. And the important thing is that through the mean of the provision channel that is embedded in that box, it is always updated to the latest version of the agent, and it gives our support team a way to support you in a better way, in a better and faster way. So that's why we usually suggest the usage of Domotz boxes for your customer sites. Let me mention one thing about Domotz box. One recommendation we usually provide as a best practice to configure Domotz box is to plug it on your local network, on your office network, and leave it for a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, let's say, until it is completely provisioned. This is a way to ensure that the box is provisioned correctly before going to the sites of your customer and plug to the site of the customer and then configure it there. This basically covers most of the things that I had in mind to cover for this presentation, for this demo, for this webinar. And so I don't know if we start getting some questions here, but I leave the voice to Seth to continue with the demo, and I'll be sitting here to answer to your questions.
Seth, please activate your microphone. Okay, we can't hear Seth, so I'm going to collect and provide the questions to Giancarlo.
Hey, can you hear me now? All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have some great questions here. One is in my Domotz Pro client app tab in the customer management tile, it doesn't show anything. How can I get started with Domotz?
Sorry, there is some echo in the background. Okay. Can you repeat the question? Because I heard some echo in the background. Set.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you repeat your question? Because there was some.
So in the Domotz Pro client app, the customer management tile doesn't show anything. How can I get started with Violet?
The customer, okay, in the customer management tile, let me jump there. If he goes directly in customer management tile, as soon as he enters here, he will have something like this. So he will have a space where he can set up an email. And once he jumps into the client app, he will probably have a sentence which tells the customer to contact support to enable Violet. So dealers should be enabled to get the Violet application because they basically needs to send us some detailed information about them. Something like their own logo, which appears on the Violet app. So in the Violet app, there will be a logo just here. Let me show you. Oh, okay, I just disabled it, sorry. Let me enable back. So if I go here, if they go here, there will be some information about the dealer itself, so logo, address, phone, and the email. So if they got this kind of information and they send to support@domotz.com, we will enable the dealer to be a Violet user as well.
Oh, great, great. The second question was if we've got a Domotz box and there's also other options for download, what is the difference? Why would I get the Domotz Pro box versus a downloadable version?
As I mentioned before, the downloadable version, for example, if you have already a QNAP NES or Synology NES, you can use the agent available on their market store to evaluate Domotz. So it will give you enough information to say, oh wow, this is a cool tool. I want to use it for my customers. However, we do not suggest to deploy new sites on top of using agents on top of the QNAP NES or Synology NES, but we recommend the usage of Domotz Pro box for a couple of reasons. As I mentioned during the demo, the first one is that the box provides us a better way to support you if you have any issue. It comes with the latest version of the agent everywhere, and anyway, it is a dedicated hardware, so you do not rely on third-party hardware to do a specific thing, which is monitoring the site. So, for example, if you install a NES, you probably want to monitor NES itself, but it's like a loop, no? It's a device monitoring itself. And the last thing is that some of the features, for example, the one available on Violet to block devices access to internet, is available only on the Domotz box.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, that was all the questions we had. So thanks to everybody for coming today. Thank you, Giancarlo and Tommaso, for participating. We look forward to seeing you all in the future. If you have any additional questions, we've got resources, plenty of resources in our think tank, and you can send your questions always and suggestions to support@domotz.com. My contact information is simply seth@domotz.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Seth.
Thank you all.